Hello and welcome to Art Supply Thursdays. Today I am reviewing another pen by TWSBI. This is the Diamond 580AL with a broad nib. I purchased this at a specialty fountain pen and stationery shop about a year ago. It cost me around $50 US. This TWSBI comes in the same clear box as several other of their models, although I've since taken out the innards to it. It comes with this wrench for disassembly and silicone grease for greasing the piston mechanism. TWSBI has a couple vacuum fillers, but most TWSBI models are piston fillers, including the Eco, the Classic, and the Mini. The Diamond 580 here differs in that its faceted diamond pattern, a larger size, and higher price make it more of a top flagship model, although it's still comparable in price and functions basically the same. Here's a size comparison with the Eco, the Classic, and the new TWSBI Go. The diamond pattern on the body is quite nice, and I've found that it assists in providing grip when capping and uncapping. The red parts you see are aluminum, hence the AL in the model name. There are quite a number of other colors available, and they all look great with their colored accents, especially when they're matched with an ink has the same color, just as I did with this Diamond Passion Red ink here. Although the logo, the nice logo in the clear dome of the cap here, it remains red on every other color available. It would be nice if that were altered on those, but on this red one it looks great since it already matches the pen color. As I mentioned, this is a screw cap. It takes 1 1/4 turns to remove, so it's very easy to quickly spin and uncap it. It has an O-ring to aid in the cap seal. The nib is an uncommon proprietary size, although I have seen videos that it can be swapped out with a number 5 nib. It has nice scroll work on the nib itself, and the logo is engraved on it. This one here has a B for a broad line width. It's offered in extra fine, fine, medium, broad, and a 1.1 millimeter stub. The feed is rather small, and it can be removed for cleaning if really necessary, but when removed it comes out as a whole nib unit, which TWSBI sells individually as replacement parts. A few TWSBI models, such as the Precision and the Classic that I have here, are solid with a small ink window, but most TWSBI models are fully clear. It makes filling it to capacity very easy, especially with this piston mechanism. You simply unscrew the end, which moves the piston down, put it in the ink, and then you screw it clockwise to pull up the piston and draw up ink. It just works like any other piston filler. Sometimes the pistons can get hard to move, and that's when the pen needs to be disassembled with a supplied wrench and greased up. There are videos and diagrams online on disassembling TWSBI models. It's a bit tricky to get the piston back in the correct spot when reassembling it, but as long as you're careful, it's a pretty foolproof trial and error process. The grip is this colored aluminum piece, which can unscrew by itself if it's not too tight. I tightened it down a bit, and hopefully it's not too tight to cause damage. The grip gives me no problems, and other than that, and where it flares out, it's a nice stop for the fingers. The step down from the barrel is present, but not prominent, and the O-ring here is not noticeable during writing. The pen, despite being mostly plastic, is heavier than you'd expect, and I like that. Quite a bit of the weight is in the cap, and it makes it back heavy when posted. However, it doesn't really post too securely on the piston turning knob anyway, and it probably isn't made for it. The pen is big enough that if you don't post it, it's not a problem anyway. Now let's see how the TWSBI Diamond 580AL writes. Nibs that are broad tend to be more smooth than finer nibs just by their nature, but this broad is incredibly smooth and glides very well across the paper. It's so nice when writing is a tactile joy like this. The feed keeps up, which is great for this broad, and I feel like writing a novel by hand with this thing. It has the great weight to it. It's so smooth, and it's an enjoyable experience to write with it. There is no real flex though, although like some can be gained with pressure. If you try to flex with a broad, it doesn't do much, and then it doesn't really become smooth anymore. I mean, when it springs back, of course, it's back to smooth, but when you're pushing down, it's not smooth. It's best to just not press down and only use the weight of the pen to let it glide itself over the paper. So this pen with a broad nib is definitely great for writing for a long time, and the huge ink capacity means that it can be written with for all day or even for multiple days without even thinking about refilling it. Reverse writing provides a fine line, but it's scratchy and only good for a quick notation in the margin. This is another pen, like the Lamy Safari, that's great for continuous, smooth writing. In fact, the very large ink capacity makes it better than the Lamy, in my opinion. I love being able to see all of the ink and the bold red of this particular color. It would be nice to own several of these that are in different colors and you can match with your clothes or match with the different inks you want. So you can collect them, although they're not very cheap at about $50 US. The silver color, if you can find it, the Diamond 580 AL in silver, is a good professional neutral color that I recommend if you're not into a loud color such as this. There are cheaper pens out there which are also good writers, but TWSBI pens are pleasantly quirky with their disassembly and overall charm. I do own 4 TWSBI models myself, of course. So yeah, here is the TWSBI Diamond 580. It's a wonderful, consistent, smooth, very, very smooth writer. And so yes, I do recommend it. Thanks for watching, and see you next Thursday.